Welcome to the Faithful Five. I am excited to be joined today by Damian Della Vecchia. Am I saying that last name correctly?
Beautiful.
All right, I love it. Damian, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family, what you do as a profession.
Sure. Sure. I grew up in the area, grew up in Westchester, went to the local high school around here and graduated my undergrad from Bucknell University. And then after school, I was in the process of studying for my MCATs to go to medical school and ended up getting a job at a company that was implementing SAP. And then I've been doing this line of business ever since then. So I basically do systems integration with SAP. I worked for Price Waterhouse for years and then kind of went off on my own. And yeah, that's my profession. Um, I'm married to a wonderful woman that was local as well. She grew up in Wayne, Pennsylvania. We met each other actually in high school. Um, I went to her senior prom with her girlfriend, and we ended up meeting each other and falling in love. But we got married in the year 2001. We have two boys. Both are one is out of college, and one is a rising junior undergrad at Villanova. The oldest graduated from High Point University. And yeah, that's a little bit about my background and my family life.
All right, if we have time, we'll go back to the prom story. That sounds very
Yeah.
interesting. I like that. So talk a little bit about talk a little bit about your faith journey. Did it happen over time? Did something trigger it? Just a little background on that.
Just briefly, I feel like I went to 12 years Catholic school, grammar school, and then in high school. And then when I was actually a young kid, I was an altar boy in eighth grade. Graduating, I won the Altar Boy Award at St. Agnes, and it was a great experience, and I loved doing that. So I think it sort of started there, started certainly with my parents bringing me to church and things like that. And it ebbed and flowed as it always does. Like once you go to college, you sort of go away from the church a little bit. And then when I came out of college and was engaged and married, kind of brings you back. And especially when you have children, it's just like this miracle of life. And then so appreciative for health and happiness and the beauty of these kids that, definitely brought us back into the church. And we've been, you know, going at it ever since. So it's been a great experience.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the influences. Did someone influence your kind of faith journey
Well,
specifically? Several people or who
kind
did?
of starting with my folks, mom and dad, definitely. My mom actually was Protestant and she ended up converting into RCIA, into the Catholic faith, which was amazing. Seeing her go through that was impressive. Um, but them bringing us early on and sending us to Catholic schools and going to church was definitely an influence. But that award that I won, and I told you about, the Monsignor, Monsignor Kelly was very like instrumental and like and an influential. We looked up to him and was a very faith filled man. Um, and then there was another Monsignor, Monsignor Craven, who I think gave me the award. That was kind of an inspirational moment. And I go to a retreat in the springtime and I take a Bible, and the Bible that I take was the Bible that I won back when I was this little, eighth grader, still signed to my name and everything. And I still, yeah, remember that. And it's been, something that left a lasting impression. But it just doesn't, it sort of started there and, it's got to continue to grow. It's like, nurturing I have a tomato plant on the side of my house for the summertime. You got to nurture the plant. You got to feed it in order for it to grow. And that's how I think my faith is growing. I'm being fed by others and by, friends and family members who are also involved in the faith, and it helps us all kind of grow together.
Okay, we're gonna go back to that. Talk a little bit about what you think the biggest obstacles are. Specifically for men, we all have the same challenges with, pride and ego and trying to support our families and stuff like that. Where do you see the biggest obstacles?
I think there's definitely I would call them like secular distractions, and it also might be um, apathy, like because we're so ingrained in the real like secular world, and we have so many excuses not to go into the faith and not to approach the faith more seriously. It's because we have bills to pay, we have desires to go to like sporting events or to be entertained and things like that. So all of that sort of fills our days, and I put that a little bit in air quotes, fills our days, because it ends up like um, distracts us from not going in and doing a little bit more sort of faith journeys, if you know what I mean. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like it's the secular distractions, the phone, the TV, everything like that, and then thinking in the back of our mind, oh, I'll do that task, or I'll participate in that event. And this is more like sort of Catholic or faith-filled events, but I don't end up doing it just because I have, maybe excuses of the secular world preventing me from doing it. So
Yeah. So talk about what tips, how are you living your faith journey today? Obviously, we don't overcome all of the challenges we face, but how do you, Damian, kind of stay connected, try to overcome some of the secular challenges that, whether we like it or
yeah,
not, all men are the same for the most part. We have the same distractions.
it's a great question. Number one, my spouse. She really helps bring me and lead me into, you know, continuing to fill my faith buckets, if you will. Um, but also beyond her, it's your network of friends and family members. I mean, it's honestly who you surround yourself with, right? It's like you. It's a decision. You can choose to be around faith-filled people or not, and it's not like I have a checklist of items that ensure that I can only hang with these people that are like only Catholic or only go to church every Sunday. It's not that at all, but it's like I just tend to gravitate towards them because we have like-minded sort of goals and desires in life, and that's how I would recommend to try and continue down the path of, practicing your faith.
Okay. I'm going
Yeah.
to drill down a little further with you on, are there things that you do specifically? Is there, that the end of the day or the middle of the day you're stressed out and you need to meditate or say a rosary, or are there any things that you do? And it doesn't have to be during the middle of the day, but things where you're going off the rails.
And for me personally, like I know we need to have a personal relationship with God. And I feel like I have a more difficult time sort of doing that one on one, like as opposed to doing it with others. So, for instance, I so much rather go to like a mass or go to a conference or learn more about the Bible in a community, as opposed to, me sitting at the edge of my bed and praying at night. I have more of a connection with others, almost as though that like I'm a part of a team and a community that's trying to like go at it together, as opposed to like an individual, so to speak.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So do you feel more comfortable? So you have things at your parish or St. Norbert's or wherever you are
Yeah.
that with sharing with other men, or like the That Man Is You program, or a group, or a retreat, that kind of thing helps you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Because you're like again in a communal environment. It's almost like a sports team you're a part of, and you're trying to all row, you know, along the same, page, if you will, to try to like continue to expand your faith. And yeah, I really like that. I was thinking this summer watching Wimbledon, seeing at the very end, when the men's final was complete, the winner was talking just basically about his experience in his journey on the tennis court, and it's an individual sport. So like my relationship with God is an individual thing, he and I together. But he said, the only way he can get to the very end is not just because of him, it's his team. And he's pointing up to like all the people that helped him get to that point. And that's the way I feel like with my journey. It's not just me and God one on one working together every day and, improving my prayer life or my faith. It's that coupled with others surrounded in my life, my spouse, my friends, my community that helps like bolster me and make me a little bit more of a, faith-filled person.
I think that's a great way to look at it. I'm almost like not the opposite of that, but I've been trying to spend more one-on-one time, especially when I know I'm going off the rails. Like, Lord, I know I can't do this by myself. You need to help me with this person or this sin or whatever it is, you know? So that's
Sure.
interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
But what you're talking about is your faith community. So
Right.
that's
Exactly.
interesting. How about some of the biggest myths about being
Well,
Catholic, trying to live your faith, with your family, with your friends?
yeah, and it might it's this idea, and it may not just be Catholicism. It just generally with like maybe it's like atheism or agnostic versus a faith-filled person. Like you can't just sit there, do the sign of the cross, and ask for something from God and expect immediate sort of like satisfaction. I want my team to win this game, or I want my child to make this team, or I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z in the future. It just doesn't happen like that, and there's things in life that happen that are so tragic. I just read recently this actor, she was 18 years old. She died in a tragic car accident. And I'm thinking to myself, how can God take that poor child's life, right? At such a young and tender age. And I think for everything that sort of happens, there's this master plan that God has out there. We just don't understand it, right? But the myth that I'm trying to get back to is that there's tragedy in this world, and like you not having faith is not the reason why all of this tragedy happens, but um, like things occur and you can always turn back to God in these moments of need, but you're not going to get instant gratification just by praying and sort of being a part of a church ceremony or something. So hopefully what I'm just trying to say is it takes work, and the myth is that you going to mass on Sundays and being a cafeteria Catholic that you get a hall pass to get into heaven. It's not the way it works. You got to put effort into it, whether it's individual one-on-one effort with the Lord or as part of a community. And again, I think whatever flavor you choose, all of it is good. It's just a matter of making sure that you get out of things based on what you put into it, and it's true also with the Lord.
All right, you're touching on it, but last question, tips, advice for men. And I try to
Hmm.
focus on, I'm older than you. My kids are out of the house, although, one of them's coming back in the house for a little, moving back to Philadelphia. But for that 30-year-old Damian or that 28-year-old Tom who's just married or having kids and has all of those pressures of life, that maybe doesn't have a strong faith. How about some advice?
My number one thing is, again, it comes back to the beginning, the apathy. Don't be apathetic, like get involved. Don't just dip your toe in the water, like dive in. Don't be apprehensive, because otherwise, next thing you know, your 28-year-old Tom or 30-year-old Damien's going to be like 50 and 60 years old. And like that, your life is almost, not almost over, but there's just life is so precious and so short that and if you don't again put some effort into it and dive in, you're going to miss out on a lot.
And when you say dive in, you're talking about, give yourself an opportunity to have that foundation of faith.
100%, yeah. And seek it out, like seek friends and family members that are sort of similarly aligned to your kind of like vision of where you want to be in your faith, and hopefully they'll bring you along. Like it's always great to have mentors in life. We started off again, who was a big mentor to you or who influenced you? Obviously my parents, a couple of the monsignors that I mentioned. Like it's always good to have those connects with others to help you, in your journey. And in all aspects of life, even beyond just faith, just in all aspects of life. So
Yeah, and I think you raise a good point, one of it which is nothing in life is easy, whether it's your job or raising a family or any of the things you talked about, and building your faith it takes work and effort, right?
right. Yeah, 100%.
Damian, appreciate you taking the time to join me on the Faithful Five,
Thank
and
you, Tom. I appreciate it.
we'll talk to you later.